All right, we're getting back to it. So I got these hung up, and I am gonna probably have to cut some coils out of this, but I got to get this thing all together so I can see where, you know, the car is set. So I got a lot of this all wire wheeled. I'm getting ready to throw some epoxy on it and then some black paint before I stick that frame in there. So I'm gonna keep grinding on this stuff. I gotta put seam sealer here and grind out a couple welds up here. And I'm also probably gonna try and, you know, really wire brush in here because it looks pretty ugly. So there might be a little bit of rust work that I have to do. All right, so got the 4L80 and LS out of the subframe, and basically I have all the parts ready to, you know, throw this front clip together. So gonna work on that and get that LS and 4L80 back down to the shop. Got some frickin' parts back from the old blasting. Definitely enjoy that loud heater over there. But I'm gonna shoot these with some epoxy, so just kind of giving you guys a little overview of what they look like before I get some epoxy on them. Definitely want to hit them with epoxy ASAP so they don't, you know, end up rusting like they were. Made some good progress here. So I did end up, you know, starting to wire brush and get all this back to bare metal. And then I hit it with some, you know, rust converter, and you can see it makes it into like a nice blackened finish that you can then sand and paint over. So making progress there. And it also etches it so it doesn't rust, which is always good because hard to get all the paint off in one go. So if you can etch it while you're, you know, work on the other areas, then you're better off. So right now I'm going to work on basically flattening this out and then making a patch that goes in here, you know, to fill this hole like this. And then I'm going to work on sanding these down and also those welds over there and getting this firewall, you know, closer and closer to a little bit of epoxy, and then hit it with some black. So it'll be nice once it's done. All right, making good progress on this thing. So got this firewall and, you know, all the seam sealer out of these seams, you know, got it all sanded up, used the DA. And I'm planning on taking it, you know, we made this little trailer thing, which is kind of cool because it kind of turns the car into a little, you know, mobile thing that you can tow around with the truck. So I'm gonna take this down to the paint booth and put some chains through here and also on this side, and, you know, come along it up and take this little A-frame out so I can sand the rest of the underside and then spray some epoxy on here. And then once the epoxy's on there, so I'm doing that so it stops rusting, so then I can work on you know, getting these spaces that need work cut out and fixed, and then I'll reactivate it, sand it, and spray it with some black paint along with you know, this dash area. So making progress, definitely a lot of work. This monotonous stuff can get old, but you got to get it done. So we're staying on it, and I'll see you down at the old shop. All right, got this all looking really nice. Got this taped off and along with the VIN tag there. So I'm done procrastinating. I'm putting this off, and surface rust keeps forming, so I got to just paint it tonight. So I'll put you guys on a time lapse and show you me epoxying this old firewall. Definitely one of the more dangerous things that you'll work on if you build these classic cars or build any car really in general is compressing these coil springs. So right now I'm using like the AutoZone piece for this to grab the spring, and then I'm using an all thread that we had to kind of go through it with a nut on the bottom and then tightening it up this way because it grabs it really nicely. We tried to make our own here, but it gets the orientation all screwed up. It's hard to make it square to the spring, and you kind of have to go straight up to get that lower control arm on there. So yeah, we're getting close with this one. Got to tighten it up a little more. All right, so got the frickin' firewall painted, as you guys saw. I'm definitely going to take a break from those springs because I kind of got wasted just a little bit by one of them. I got hit in the finger. And I feel like the way I was doing the spring compressing, just not safe, you know? So more coming on that. I'll try and get that maybe in this video, maybe the next one. But right now I'm working on getting this floor all dialed in, all sanded, and all the seam sealer out of it. And then, you know, I started sanding on this, or I started getting the paint off before I was kind of prepared. So I kind of have to do it because it starts rusting. So definitely this stuff is not the most enjoyable thing, but you know, once you start, you kind of have to just go for it and get it done, and at least get it in primer, you know. I don't know if I'll paint it all black because I still, you know, have to put the subframe connectors in here after I put the subframe in. And yeah, I'll put you guys on a time lapse and you can watch me suffer. Yeah, this stuff is pretty freaking brutal, but we're making good progress. So, you know, got a lot of the paint off with the wire brush and, you know, this paint remover, and now I'm gonna switch to this and try and, you know, kind of get it more prepped and hit the really heavy rust areas with some like sandpaper and try and get all the pitting gone. I'm kind of kicking myself for not getting this thing sandblasted because I think it would have been a little bit easier, but I don't know. Now that I'm at this point, kind of no turning back. Frickin' wasted that thing. So I don't think this is meant for the 12,000 RPM of that little grinder, so definitely broke this. Not ideal, but I think I'm gonna call it a night on this. I gotta stay on it though because, you know, the stuff really rusts really fast when it's bare metal, right, obviously, and it's kind of humid where I live. I kind of live by the salt water, so the rust comes back with a vengeance. So I'm basically trying to get this floor area, you know, painted, and also the bottom side of the floor, so I can start, you know, finishing up a little bit of firewall patch, a little bit of, you know, firewall work, and then, you know, you can see, I think I showed you where it's pretty rusty where the A-pillar comes down, so I'm gonna have to fix that. And then once this all is in primer, you know, it'll be nice. I can put that black on there whenever I want. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Right now, you know, I was really wire brushing this heavy and noticed on another spot that needed to be repaired, so that's what we're doing. Gonna put some paper in there and then mark it out and get a new patch made. Got old Stu up on some stilts, and floor is ready to be painted along with the firewall and upper firewall. I'm gonna kind of hold off to paint this area until I get it really nice and prepped, because that's something you're more gonna see, so I wanna make it really nice. And also got this bottom area ready for some paint, so I'll throw you guys on a time lapse and get to spraying some freaking epoxy. Definitely gonna be quite the mission. Just a little discussion with you guys. A lot of people say they want to restore cars, but let me tell you, there is some absolutely terrible aspects of it. Like painting in that, 75-degree room with a full face respirator and this Tyvek on. It's freaking awful, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get her done. So we're mixing up some more paint, and we're gonna start painting the underside of the floor. I got the top of the floor pretty much painted, and underneath the dash, so that's looking good. On to the next, and then we can go to bed. So we're getting her done. So got this frickin' underfloor epoxy. Definitely looks good. Looks like a job well done to me. So that epoxy lays so nice. I really highly recommend that stuff if you guys are ever trying to seal anything or do anything. It really lays down nice and flat. There's no orange peel to it. So if you're gonna use it as a sealer, it works really good. So your base coat goes on nice and flat as well. So floor is painted. This area up here, got some paint up there. And now the current mission is going to be to put the black on. You know, I got to seam seal everything and then put the black on. So definitely, I'm trying to hit there's 7-day window on this epoxy. So I'd like to, you know, get all the seam sealer on here and then spray the black. There's going to be a lot of seam sealer because there's a lot of patches. So basically anywhere you have a patch, you definitely want to put seam sealer to, you know, seal it from water getting into the car. So I'm going to seam seal it and then paint it black. And then in the next video, that'll be in the next video. But we'll also be getting those subframe connectors in and the subframe permanently installed. So thanks for watching. Definitely, you know, I'm trying to be more disciplined on this thing. I feel like self-discipline is kind of what is needed to get something like this done, because the work definitely kind of sucks. So thanks for watching, and hope you guys are having an excellent week. Rock on. Hey, thanks for stopping into the Bluebird Enterprises YouTube channel. If you like what you saw, give me a big thumbs up, and hopefully you're leaving with a bigger smile than you came in with.